Hey, it's Nikki, and we have our final 2021 Monday Fire Takeover with past Gut Plus Science guests and power couple, Oscar and Kiya Frazier. Now, if you listen to their episode, I know you just connected the dots. The episode on Gut Plus Science was fire. I mean, if it didn't light a fire for you, I don't know what will. This couple is so inspirational and is going to light up your Monday and your week. Buckle up.
Okay, Oscar, let's talk about high-performing teams, right? How you build them. I like to think that we have done an excellent job of doing this over the years, but there's a formula to it. And there's some key words that I love when you always go through them. So I'm going to let you jump in and kind of talk about that because I'm looking for these specific words.
I think I already know where you're going. Whenever time is of the essence and you're building a team and your job is to get them to high performance to be able to deliver a service or a product, there's 4 phases that team is going to evolve and go through, right? And those phases are, which I'm thinking that's what you're probably talking about, Kiya.
I'm waiting. Let's go.
Forming, storming, norming, and performing.
There we go. That's it.
So let me walk through that. And some of the listenership you probably have heard this before, but let me give a few spins on it. Whenever the team is first forming and your job, let's say if you're the program manager or you're the actual the delivery director, you've selected the team and you're starting to pull together who's going to be which roles, etc. on your team. When they first get into the room, everyone's going to be asking you the who, what, where, when, and why. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to really be verbalized, though. It's going to be that sizing up factor. Like, who is this over here to the left, and why do they get to be in this role when I should have been in this role? When will I get pulled up to do exactly what the program manager's doing? All these things are happening internally inside someone's psyche, if you will, during that informing phase.
It's inevitable.
It's going to happen. So you as the leader, I think there's a fine line between trying to dictate how a team normally will move from that forming to storming. Mm-hmm. And it's called arguments versus argumentation. Your job as the leader, whenever you're getting to a high performing team, where you're looking at a time or mission critical team that you've got to get up and running, your job is not to try to dictate, but it's more so to facilitate. Your job is to be strong in facilitation. So once that team has formed, quickly get to the storming phase. Do not run away from the argumentation aspects, which you can do during this time, because most people think of storming as discombobulation and disorganization and what's fussing, but that's actually not what happens. Mm-hmm. You as the leader, you have an opportunity right then to get up on that whiteboard or to establish a project schedule that begins to break things out into 3 buckets. Mm-hmm. And people that know me, they know that I love a whiteboard and I love to put things into buckets. Right? So one of those things would be looking at like the absolute, like the non-negotiables, right? These are the things we must achieve, over the next 30, 60, 90 days or whatever that timeline is in order for us to be considered quote unquote high performing. From the non-negotiables, you may have some of the nice to have, some of the negotiables. And then you have the things that you're not sure about that may need to just be put into a parking lot for a later time. Once you've done that, what you're now doing is, as people are jockeying for that alpha position during that storming phase, so people are probably, boasting their chest and trying to say what they are good at and what they're skilled at. Make sure you're jockeying and writing those things down on that whiteboard. Make sure that you're putting those things out there in a way that everyone can see it. So now we begin to see the full complexity of the team, mm-hmm. right? So instead of everyone looking at and starting to poke their chest out, for lack of a better word, and trying to say, I'm the alpha male, it becomes, well, Oscar, if you're the agilist, and Kiya, you're the scrum master, we need to get you two together to help us to drive this product or this service to completion. And now you're starting to get people's mindsets to shift from this storming and this alpha role sort of scenario
to how does it fit together?
Into the natural next phase, which is norming. Yeah. When you begin to normalize, now everyone starts to understand what their role is within the team. Everyone has understood. We've already gotten through the argumentation component. And now the team begins to get that, okay, I have an actual right to be on this team. Mm-hmm. And what you're trying to do essentially as that facilitator is help them to answer for them the who, what, where, when, and why that happened when they first formulated, right? So when that team first formed, everyone was trying to figure out all the who, what, where, when, and why. During the storming phase, people were trying to suggest why they're there, why they're in the room. And during the norming phase, you're now at this point where now they should get why they're in the room. Right. If they don't, or if there's still ambiguity there, you as a facilitator have to take a step back and recognize what is that you need to do better as the leader / facilitator in that room to ensure that everyone gets their role and why they're in the room. finally you get to performing. And that's when the magic happens. That's when you're starting to see that project plan and those goals all come to fruition. So again, forming, storming, norming, performing. It's just a way of life to get to a high performing team.
Love it.
We just left the world a little bit better. Now go do something with it.